When I married David, I never imagined how drastically my life would transform. I had been a widow when he came into my life, raising my only son Ethan, who was already away in college. David had a son too, Ryan, who had just turned 20. He'd spent most of his years living with his mother. But after David and I got married, Ryan began staying with us more often. At first, it felt awkward, as it usually does with blended families, but I truly wanted things to work. Ryan wasn't a troublesome kid. He was quiet, distant, and there was a deep sadness in his eyes that hinted at the hardships he had faced. His parents had separated when he was still young. Though his mother had custody, she wasn't what anyone would call nurturing. I could sense how much Ryan longed for consistency, and even though I wasn't his biological mother, I wanted to offer him a sense of home. In the beginning, we were simply polite. He would join us for meals, then retreat to his room, and sometimes he'd sit with us for movie nights. I didn't force him to talk, but gradually he began opening up. He told me about his struggles in college, friends who had drifted away, and relationships that always seemed to fall apart. I listened, not just as a stepmother, but as someone who sincerely cared. Slowly, I started seeing Ryan differently. Not in any inappropriate way, but as someone vulnerable and still trying to figure out where he belonged. He wasn't just David's son. He was a young man looking for connection, and I was often the only person he felt comfortable enough to talk to. That's where everything truly began. It was a late evening in October. David had been working longer hours, leaving me alone in the house with Ryan more often. That night, after I made dinner, I realized Ryan hadn't come down. His door was closed, but a sliver of light glowed from beneath it. Normally, I would have left him alone. But something in me, maybe maternal instinct, urged me to check on him. I knocked gently. "Ryan, dinner is ready." Silence lingered, then a faint reply came. "I'm not really hungry. Thanks." His voice sounded strained. I hesitated before turning the doorknob, pushing the door open just slightly. That's when I saw him, sitting on the edge of his bed, hands covering his face, shoulders trembling. He wasn't avoiding me. He was breaking down. My chest tightened. I had never seen him like that. I stepped inside quietly, then closed the door behind me. "Ryan," I said softly. "What's going on?" He lifted his head, red-rimmed eyes full of pain. For a second, he looked like he might deny everything, but then the barrier around him fell. "I don't know what I'm doing anymore," he whispered. I sat next to him, keeping just enough distance so he wouldn't feel cornered. "Tell me. What happened?" The truth finally poured out. Ryan told me how abandoned he always felt, not only by his mother, but in some ways by David too. His father loved him, but work always came first. Ryan had grown up watching other kids receive the affection he never got. Now at 20, he felt lost. "I see you and Dad together. And you both look happy," he said shakily. "I've never had that. Not once. Every connection I try to make just disappears. It's like I'm not even there." His words stung deep. I reached for his hand gently. "You're not invisible, Ryan. Not to me. And not to your father either. You matter more than you know." His grip grew tighter, and his eyes locked onto mine, searching for comfort, reassurance, maybe even belonging. I held his gaze, wanting him to feel every word I said. "You deserve to be loved. Never doubt that." The air between us shifted. Something unspoken lingered, something uncertain, something neither of us fully understood yet. And it frightened me. I stood quickly, hoping to ease the emotional tension. "Come downstairs. Eat a little. You'll feel better." He nodded, wiping his face before following me down. We ate quietly that night, but the silence felt charged, like something had changed and we couldn't ignore it. Over the next few days, our dynamic shifted. Ryan started lingering near me more, offering help in the kitchen, sitting with me in the living room even when he had nothing to say. David remained busy, working late nights, leaving Ryan and me in a rhythm that felt strangely like our own. I kept telling myself it was harmless, that I was simply being supportive. But deep down, I knew a different kind of connection had begun forming, one I wasn't ready to admit. Then came the night everything crossed a line. David had to travel for work, leaving just the two of us at home. A heavy storm rolled in, wind shaking the windows, rain pounding the roof, one of those nights where loneliness echoes loudly through the house. I curled up on the couch with a blanket, trying to distract myself, when Ryan came downstairs. "Mind if I sit here?" he asked. "Of course not," I replied, shifting to give him space. He sat closer than usual. We watched the storm for a moment before he spoke again. "You're the only one who really listens to me," he said quietly. I turned to him, my heart tightening. "Ryan, no. Please let me say it," he murmured. "You make me feel like I matter. Like I'm not someone people forget." He swallowed hard. "And I don't know what I'd do without you." His words hit deeper than I expected. Before I could respond, he leaned a little closer, unsure, hesitant. I froze, torn between who I was supposed to be and the emotions I had tried to bury.